Hi, everyone. This is Caroline Speaks, the State of Our World on Friday, January 7th, 2022. So, what is it? Good, bad, or indifferent? All three. Okay, some of the major headlines. Uh, Biden warns of dagger at the throat of America's fascist. Biden warns of dagger at the throat of America. Fascism expert says Trump personality cult is growing. World Health Organization says Omicron variant is not mild as ER doctor describes new COVID wave overwhelming hospitals. Sudan protests demand end to military rule. No negotiation, no partnership, no legitimacy. So the poor people of Sudan, I know they create another country, and I got rid of Bashir. They created South Sudan, so I hope things work out. We get peace in the Sudan. Okay. What else? On January 6th anniversary, Biden warns of Trump's dagger at the throat of democracy. I totally agree. Supreme Court to waive vaccine mandates as U.S. coronavirus cases hit record high. What's wrong with having a mandate? We have a mandate to, if we enter school, you have to have certain vaccines. Uh, World Health Organization warns Omicron is overwhelming hospitals and killing people. It's not mild. As Omicron shatters pandemic records, Brazil's Bolsonaro blasts child vaccinations. Well, Bolsonaro actually had the virus and he supposedly recovered, but no, he doesn't want to vaccinate his kids. Okay. So I don't know. He's, oh yes, anyone can get this virus. So Bolsonaro, I hope you get it again and you do not survive. But don't take away the resources of your health care system. Okay, Kazakh president orders troops to shoot without warning as protest death toll mounts, and then that's Kazakhstan, and Kazakhstan is being helped by Russia. Yep, nice combination, nice duo. Three Eritrean refugees, including two children, killed by airstrike in Ethiopia's Tigray region. Those poor people. Now, moving in another area of the world, Israel kills two Palestinians in the West Bank, and the far right protesters attack Palestinian reporter. Okay, now, uh, in the occupied West Bank, Israeli forces shot dead a Palestinian man, 21-year-old Bakir Mohammed Hashash, during a raid on the Balata refugee camp in Nablus Thursday. Hours later, an Israeli settler drove his car into a Palestinian man, 25-year-old, near a checkpoint, killing him. Meanwhile, far-right Israeli protesters attacked a Palestinian photojournalist in front of a hospital near Tel Aviv. The attackers were protesting the release of Hisham Abu Hawash, who recently ended his 141-day hunger strike. Israel, and we give Israel money to kill Palestinians and uh, take away their farms and their plants, demolish their homes, kill all their animals and their plants. We really have to end our support of Israel because they're killing people indiscriminately. Palestinians deserve to be treated fairly and to have their own state. Okay, two journalists murdered in Haiti amidst spiking um, gang violence. Head of the U.S. prisons resigns as COVID ravages incarcerated population. Unionized Starbucks workers walk off job, and nurses demand permanent protections amid the pandemic, and I totally agree with them. Uh, so hopefully labor will be treated fairly. Activists arrested while halting construction on Sunoco fracked gas pipeline in Pennsylvania. Uh, because this pipeline threatens the Marsh Creek Lake, a drinking water source for almost 2 million people. The toxic gases are exported to manufacture plastics overseas. The pipeline has already caused major spills in Marsh Creek, leading to dozens of criminal charges against Energy Transfer partners. That's nice. Where go to renewables. I don't know. We don't want the poison. People have a right to their land and their rights, especially indigenous people. Murder trial for ex-police officers involved in George Floyd murder set for January 20th. Alright, so let's see what happens there. Journalist and civil rights activist Mel Reeves died at 64 from COVID-19 complications. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your work. Okay, now, Biden to call out Trump's singular responsibility for January 6th insurrection. I totally agree. Jimmy Carter says the U.S. is at a genuine risk of civil conflict and losing our precious democracy. Hope it doesn't come to that. CDC endorses boosters for 12 to 15-year-olds as COVID cases skyrocket. And dozens killed in Kazakhstan as protests grow in former Soviet Republic. It's poor people of the former Soviet Republic, and Putin is a relic of that. And yet, the Republicans seem to like authoritarianism, but we'll see what happens. Okay, how about a little music? Okay, why don't we do a song? Okay. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Last Saturday night I got married. Me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife are parted. We take another stroll downtown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in the town. Sometimes I have a great notion to jump into the river and drown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Stop rambling. Stop your gambling. Stop staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and your family. Sit down by the fireside bright. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Okay, that was a Good Night, Irene. It was recorded by the Weavers a long time ago, I think in the 1950s, and they were a folk group. And I think it has some very famous people with them. But I don't know. I used to know who wrote it. I have it written down someplace. So anyway, take care of yourself and others. Stay safe. When the vaccine is available for you and safe for you to take it, I would take it. Had mine on May 27th, the Johnson & Johnson one shot. I'm due for a booster at the end of January, so I have to look around for that. And remember, take care of yourself and others, and remember, kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. Thank you for joining us this evening of January 7th, 2022 for another meeting of Carolyn Speaks, State of the World. I hope you join us again tomorrow evening. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe.